Welcome to the Joyce video blog. Singer, songwriter, musician, artist, comedian, blogger, self-advocate.
I often tell people that as a performing artist, I break almost every possible rule for what is socially acceptable in the performing arts. My age, my dress size, my neuroorientation, and also how I move and what happens when I move. Feet. Where are feet? Which way are they pointing? Hypermobility spectrum disorder, or HSD, very commonly co-occurs with autism and ADHD, often secondary to a condition known as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobile type, or HEDS. Sometimes I wonder who designed all these bendy Barbies. Recently I got confirmation that I do, in fact, have HEDS. And my elbow gets turned all around, kind of like that. Various studies have found that as many as 50% of autistic people have some form of hypermobility compared to 20% of non-autistic people. It means that you literally get bent out of shape very easily because the connective tissue that holds your body together isn't forming as expected. There, that's a lot better, isn't it? Eventually, if it's not managed well, everything hurts. Even reaching for a mouse on your desk can be agony. I basically spent 2025 learning how to lift my left leg high enough to climb stairs, bend my knees long enough to sit down and put on shoes, walk 2 blocks on flat ground, and get into bed and into sleeping position without 12-alarm pain. When I was a kid, I used to sit with my legs in a W shape, playing jacks. It was the only way I was comfortable sitting on the floor. For most of my life, I didn't own a car. I walked and walked and walked. Stood on buses or trains during multi-hour commutes, pushed and pushed and pushed, trying to prove I wasn't lazy and selfish. And after decades of this, my body just went, nope, we're not doing this anymore. In fact, we're not doing much of anything until we build up strength and move in a way that doesn't hurt. The last 6 years especially have been big-time body rebellion. It's like autistic burnout, but for my entire body. So did I mention, when the Clappy monster first showed up, people were out in the streets every day, protesting injustice, and I couldn't even move. I couldn't even move. So how do you perform if you can't move? I think a lot about Prince and Tom Petty and how they got addicted to opiates because the way they put on shows beat up their bodies and left them in horrible pain. And they felt like they would be cheating the fans if they adapted, so they kept doing it until it killed them. I, on the other hand, have always been wibbly-wobbly. And now, all of it goes into my art. If you move differently, you think differently. You just do. Until recently, I didn't honor that. But now I must. If I don't, no one else will either. Fortunately, I now have a physical therapist who specializes in hypermobility. We even went over some of my stage moves. And after a few weeks of working with her, I did this.
What if other people like to do this too? Stranger things happen in this world. I know they do. 1, 2, 3. Andee, you're with waltz schmaltz. This ain't no waltz. This is the stuff my hands do, and that's not my fault.
Yes, that was a live audience doing that background chorus. Oh my God, was that fun. I asked her if my stretchy vocal cords, the ones that hit those bonkers high notes, could be related to hypermobility, and she said, yeah, maybe. So it's not all bad, just the pain parts. And yes, I climbed up a few stairs at the Walter Center to get onto the stage. I was able to do that this time. I could have had a ramp there if I wanted one, but I took the risk to improve the view from the audience. But at least they gave me a choice. That's not always the case when I perform live. Maybe one day I will need that ramp, maybe even have to perform in a wheelchair. If that happens, I can't let internalized or institutional ableism suck the marrow out of me. People do perform in wheelchairs. It's not the end of the world. But you do have to learn not to apologize for your disability. You have nothing to be sorry about. And I'm telling myself that, as much as I'm telling you.
What is hypermobility spectrum disorder, or HSD? According to the Ehlers-Danlos Society, hypermobility spectrum disorders are connective tissue disorders that cause joint hypermobility, instability, injury, and pain. Joint hypermobility means that a person's joints have a greater range of motion than is expected. And according to a 2022 study published in the Journal of Frontiers in Psychiatry, the neurodivergent population studied have a higher prevalence of hypermobility at a rate of 51% compared to the general population rate of 20%. To learn more about hypermobility and HSD, visit the Ehlers-Danlos Society information page at ehlers-danlos.com/what-is-HSD. We have also provided the link in the description below the video. Thank you for watching. To learn more about Andee, visit her website at rhythmandautism.com. You can also scan the QR code on this page. To learn more about how to tell your story like Andee, contact the Oregon Council on Developmental Disabilities. You can email us at info@ocdd.org or call 971-225-3659 or visit our website at ocdd.org.